Hey, you guys, it's been a long time. I hope everyone's doing all right. I actually did this video last night. uh, I thought I should do it over. I was so tired. But, so this is basically just an update. Obviously, I also just kind of wanted to say hello to everybody because it's been at least about a year. Right. So just saying what's up. And I know this pandemic is hard on everybody. And, it's hitting people, affecting people. Um, Pretty much everyone, in different ways, some more than others, And just kind of wanted to reach out and say what's up, see how everybody's doing. And just hang in there. I know it's rough, but hang in there. So basically, this update is just really about the series. um, I haven't forgotten about it or anything. It's obviously it just takes a lot of calling, right? So it takes a lot of gathering of information, and so that's what I've been doing. Various resources, books, journal articles, just anything I can get my hands on. So again, if you've been on this channel long enough to know, you can't really trust me when it comes to dates. It's unfortunate, but it's not intentional. But it happens. So I am going to try and get part of it out to you guys next year, first quarter. That's what I'm pushing for. It's a possibility. Okay. I'm gonna break it up in chunks, and to be honest with you, that's to my benefit more than anything else. And what I'm going to start off with is simply, just going through the different structures between European civilizations and African civilizations. Hey Siri, hold on, yeah. Hey Siri, play Van Hunt. Play Van Hunt. Oh my God, you would go to HBO. I swear, Siri it can be a little useless. I told them to play a particular artist, and they go to HBO. Hold on, y'all. I need my music. Let me go back. So yeah, so this the way it's gonna work. Van Hunt. Jesus. Van Hunt. God damn. Okay. Hold on, y'all. I'm sorry. Let me see. I think I have him on the playlist. Alright, yeah, here we go. Oh my God. Okay, so I swear, Siri can be utterly useless at times. Sometimes she works okay. Other times it's like, why are you here? Anyway, so yeah, the way it works is I'll be comparing at least the first chunk, European history and African history, not in totality, but just certain parts certain parts, certain populations, certain, aspects of those areas. And so it'll be sort of like a compare and contrast. So we're going to look at their civilizations, their governing systems, their bondage systems, things like that, because I think that's very important to bring forth if it's not something people know about as much. Back then in that time, bondage was, normal. Okay, that's just something that they did. And so, however, what you can't do is equate systems that aren't equal in many ways. And what ends up happening a lot of times is you will encounter white people who will suggest that our enslavement as African people or blacks was simply just a continuation of what was going on in Africa. Something that was already in existence, something that was quite pervasive, and something, in abundance. And that's just not accurate at all. And so I sort of want to bring light to that, even more so, because it lacks historicity, massively so. And so and they do that because it allows them to shift culpability, but also to justify what happened. So I also probably go over a little bit, just sort of the time period, regarding slavery, just on the whole of slavery in terms of the world. Pretty much nearly all civilizations practice some form of bondage, but it's a mistake, and it's disingenuous to equate, all forms of bondage as the same. Okay. So I wanted to highlight that. That was very important to me. So that would be the first part that I would get out to you guys. And I'll probably not piggyback, but I'll probably just circle back a little bit to the initial migratory patterns of Africans. It's not necessarily pertinent to the topic, but it's just a nice little backdrop, nice little additive component to have in there, just for added reference or whatever, but it's not necessarily pertinent to the topic, really. I mean, I could really leave that out, but I'll probably add it in just a little bit. Yeah, so I mean, that's pretty much it. I hope everyone is okay. I hope everyone's okay. It's hitting. It's hitting a lot of people, including myself. It's hitting. That's just the way it is. The economy, jobs, and so health, obviously. Please stay safe out there. Please be responsible. It's funny though, because I take it very seriously, obviously, but I'll be seeing people, they coming out, taking their trash out, and they have on masks. They be cracking me up. I'll be like, okay, well, I guess you being extra careful. You don't want to. you don't want to contract it. But that cracks me up. But yeah, definitely, please stay safe, and hang in there. So I'm tired too of a lot of stuff, just a lot. But I feel like on the bright side of things, I feel like this time, even with all of its complications, I feel like it's given people a lot of time to just really ruminate, reflect, evolve, and the way you evolve, or how you evolve, or what you evolve into. It's going to be different for you and other, and someone else. Everyone's not going to like how you evolve or what you become. People have these expectations, and their standards, and they, a lot of times they thrust them onto other people. You should be this way. Why are you going in this direction? You're supposed to be like this. And, you can't live your life like that. You cannot live your life like that at all. And I feel like, this time has given people not only time to reflect and understand that, things about themselves and their environment and, people around them. But I also feel like it's given people a lot of time to heal and bond, but also, drive people mad. Drive people crazy, you know what I mean? I was talking to a friend of mine. I've known her since 5th grade, and she's Buddhist. She's a Buddhist, right? And we were just talking about some things and people's belief systems, and I was telling her, I was like, religion, a lot of times gives people, how can I put it? Gives people the audacity and some sort of self-empowerment that they can't grab anywhere else except within religion. And it allows them to sort of exert that influence and power because religion says they can do it, you know what I mean? So I feel like a lot of it, it can be harmful, to people. It can be very harmful to people, and you have to be careful with that. You can become addicted to religion just like anything else. Religion is not exempt. You can definitely become addicted to your religion. And you have to be very careful with that because then it's very harmful. I'm the kind of person, I don't care what people believe. You believe what you want to believe. That is your choice. That's your personal choice. I'm not a stickler when it comes to that. I have very flexible views. So long as, they're sound. I don't just fluctuate with the wind. If just because, it has to have a very firm sound basis for me to really change any sort of views, but I'm very open, to hearing information, sound information. I have to put it like that because you can come in contact with a lot of people who are conspiratorial. And that's a problem for me. I have a very difficult time with people who are just sort of, they turn everything into a conspiracy, or like I can't have a conversation. There's somebody in my family that I don't, it's not pleasurable at all. And they get pissed off because I'm not that kind of person. When you're talking to somebody and they just want you to believe what they believe because they say it. That's not me. And that's how you get in trouble. But just believing in and everything someone tells you. That's how you get caught up in cults. Okay. I am not that kind of person. I'm not just gonna believe any and everything you throw my way, especially if it's not sound. Meaning, like, if you're taking information you don't really understand and you're turning it into something that it's not. That's not sound. That's not reliable. Because you're misconstruing what was originally said and twisting it to make it fit what you want it to fit. And I have a problem with that. So um, my point is believe what you want, but don't try and clobber people with your beliefs. I have a serious problem with that, and because it's not your place to dictate or to determine what someone believes. It's none of your business, to be honest. I am not you. Other people are not you. Now, if you just simply want to give your opinion about something and you just leave it at that, and you allow that person to reject or accept it, then that's fine, that's okay. You have every right to do that, but don't sit up there and say this is the way it should be, and you should be like this, and you should be like this, and da 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 da, and here is what I say. That kind of dogmatic bullshit, no. That's not healthy, and that is very problematic. We were kind of talking about some of that, and sorry about that. Religion, I'll probably piss somebody off when I say this, but I feel like it's the truth. Religion, it doesn't heal you. Okay? But I mean, like, when I mean religion, I mean like organized religion, certain traditions. There are things that are done within particular communities, religious communities, that are just ritualistic and hyper emotional. I hope that makes sense. So religion is not something that heals you. It's a coping mechanism. Okay? It helps you manage your feelings. It helps you manage reality, but learning how to manage it, how to control it, it's not necessarily something that is healing you. Okay? To really heal, you have to really put in the work. And I feel like a lot of times religion can actually make the trauma worse, because it gets wrapped up. It gets wrapped. Your pain, your suffering, whatever else, it gets wrapped into scripture. And but it doesn't really get to the core. It can release some tension, some emotional tension, definitely. But it is not something that really gets at the core. It doesn't get to the crux of the issue that's going on within you, and it can manifest in other ways in your life. And I feel like it's just really important to just really understand what it is that you're dealing with, to be honest. And it's not easy. It is not easy at all. Nonetheless, I feel like it's a really great pep talk. I'm sorry if that offends someone, but it's like a really great pep talk, right? It gives you comfort. It gives you fortitude, strength. It gives you tenacity. It can give you perseverance. It can help you develop healthy habits to some degree, but it doesn't really heal you, you have to do that. It can definitely help you manage and control your reality. But at some point, you're going to have to face it. That's going to keep coming up. Whatever it is, it's just going to keep coming up. I really like this screensaver. I'm looking at it. It looks like fabric. Okay, so some weird job. Okay, so yeah, I have for a long time. I never really talk about topics like this on my channel or anything, because I feel like they're very personal, and people have their own perspectives about things, and I like to leave that up to them. But I think it's okay sometimes just to go ahead and share and express certain things that might be a little controversial. For me, for a long time, I was agnostic, right? Very agnostic. I mean, nobody really knew it, but for a long time, I was agnostic. For a long stretch of time, I was agnostic, and I don't believe in organized religion. Okay, that is it's a form of control, big time. And for Black people, for Black people, religion for us, Christianity in particular, was born out of a need for. It was born out of necessity. That's just the bottom line. Christianity for Black people in America, all over, actually, well, in particular, just when we were enslaved, it was born out of necessity. One thing I do love about the Black church, though, is that it kept a lot of African traditions. It preserved so much. I was looking at what was it? I can't remember what video it was, but it was oh gosh, I'm sorry, I don't remember the video, but it was a video that dealt with some tribal dances, African ancient dances, traditional dance, and I was floored, absolutely floored at how much. I mean, it was absolutely amazing how much it reminded me so much of when Black people, catch the Holy Ghost or catch the Holy Spirit in church. It was absolutely amazing. I was floored at the wow. It was, from the music to the dancing, just absolutely floored. You have to come out of this energy that anything of African origin is evil. It's just, that's how you've been programmed. Anything of African origin is evil. That is how you've been, and that's just not accurate. And that's something that's been used to control you. Religion has always been used as a tool of oppression for Black people. Granted, yes, definitely Christianity existed in Africa before Europeans came, in Africa, but that was in East Africa, particularly Ethiopia. I love Ethiopians. They're beautiful people. Anyway, but that was in Ethiopia particularly. It's not West Africa or West Central Africa. Okay. And Ethiopia has their own, it's not all Christian. They have their own traditional, there's other tribes and everything, and nations that have their own, traditional belief systems as well. Honestly, when you look at the Bible, yeah. When you look at the Bible, I feel like, they've given a lot of people information, that's fear-based. It's based on fear, so they can control you. You have to free yourself from that so they can control you. Say, for instance, like the concept of a heaven and hell, right? And there's a video, I might add it towards the end about it, but the concept of heaven and hell, right? Jesus, by the way, Jesus don't speak much in the Bible at all. I calculated it. That's how weird I am now. I calculated it. He speaks 4%. People have their biblical precepts, and I try to respect that because I know it's something that it provides, comfort and a sense of knowing and stability. There are people out there who are comfortable in the unknown, and and just trust that what is meant to be will be. And then there are other people who need, a sense of knowing what's going to happen. But the concept of heaven and hell, right? That's something that's not mentioned by Jesus, and it's not mentioned anywhere in the Old Testament. Okay. Jesus never embraced heaven and hell. He only mentions paradise. And the Old Testament, no one has ever embraced a heaven and hell. The heaven and hell concept it's a concept that entered into Greco-Roman culture from older civilization, Zoroastrianism, and even before then. So even back to Egypt.
Every time he broke your precious heart and did it with no regrets. Every time he started Girl, you are picture perfect, perfect picture in my eyes. Girl, you are picture perfect, a perfect picture. Yes, you are. I couldn't draw you better, baby. You were so divine, I guess. God took his time when he came up with your design. I couldn't draw you better, baby. Words just can't describe how you look under these stars tonight. Blessing to my eyes. Girl, you are picture perfect, perfect picture in my eyes. Girl, you are picture perfect, perfect picture. Yes, you are. Yeah, I couldn't draw you better, baby. Just holding your hand gives me satisfaction similar to when two lovers dance. Couldn't draw you better, baby. Neck was made for me to kiss on. All my songs, they seem to run on if I write about you. Girl, you are picture perfect, a perfect picture. Yes, you are. Girl, you are picture perfect, perfect picture. Yes, you are. I couldn't draw you better, baby. Look into your eyes, I see beauty is not only skin deep. I'm in love with your mind, oh yeah. Couldn't draw you better, baby. Only dreams can duplicate you. I thank God each day he made you, and that you chose me. Picture perfect, oh, perfect picture in my eyes. Girl, you are picture perfect, a perfect picture. Yes, you are.
It's fine, Tigger. Listen, if you must know, girl, you my experiment. Your body is a canvas and I'm a hitter with long brush strokes. Gotta call him my name. I ain't formally trained, I'm just drawing from experience. Worth more than millions, holla if you feeling it. Real love that takes care of all of your needs. So beautiful you fall to your knees in an instant like it was a Rembrandt or a Matisse. Cause there's nothing like the new freedom of two beings being in love. You see them holding hands broad daylight 2 p.m. A perfect portrait that's worthy of a museum. I can't call it conclusion, I can't draw it. Can't understand why so many still heartless. Trying to find imperfections in the Mona Lisa. Even if you find one, baby, it's still flawless. Check me out.
Couldn't draw you better, baby.
One time.
I couldn't draw you better, baby.
Yeah.
I couldn't draw you better, baby.
One time.
I couldn't draw you better, baby.
Hey.
It's crazy, you know, you made me like a different kind of dude, you know? You made me like jealous over things. I ain't really a jealous guy, but you know.
Jealous of your jeans, girl, cause it can rub your long legs. Of your hat, girl, cause it can kiss your forehead. Jealous of your belt, girl, cause it can hug your waistline. Hug your waistline. Hug your waistline. Jealous of your dress, girl, cause it can rub your hips, yeah. Of your lipstick, cause it can kiss your lips, yeah. Jealous of your shoes, girl, 'cause they can kiss your toes, yeah. Rub your toes, yeah. Kiss your toes, yeah. Jealous of your earrings. I wanna kiss your ears, yeah.
Okay, so it's something that is old, and it's not something that exists. It's something they came up with. You know what I mean? It's just they were trying to figure out life, much like today. They're just trying to figure out life. And people come up with these ideas. They come up with things that help them to understand the world around them. Heaven and hell was one of those concepts. Heaven and hell is like a reward and punishment system. I mean, that's what it is. It's a reward and punishment system. But they use the heaven and hell notion or idea or a concept as a way to control you, to put fear into you, because they want to ensure that you don't, have a mind of your own. It's all about power and control and influence. And I'll never really understand people who get so upset about people who, I have to turn it down a little bit. People who get really, really, really upset if you don't believe what they believe. Why is that so important to you? What is it to you what someone else believes? It's why do you have this need, this adamant need to convince and to persuade and to control what other people believe? It's none of your business, really. Leave people alone. I feel like what it is? I feel like it makes them feel out of control. Like they don't have a sense of control over their lives because someone else believes differently. And I feel like that comes from a very deep sense of really not being all that sure of yourself. It's like you're ripping the rug from under them because you don't believe it anymore, or you don't believe in certain things, right? It disturbs them. This is something that I've been dealing with, and it's also just something that I've seen just in general with people who hold on, and it's primarily the ones who are either evangelical. You know what I mean? They're even. And I grew up Christian, in the church and everything. I grew up Christian, so it's not like it's something that's I don't know nothing about but people are just gonna have to really, really deal with that discomfort themselves, because that discomfort that's theirs. That's not my problem. That's yours, and I'm not you. I'm not you. Other people are not you. You know what I mean? It's Anyway, when you understand the Bible more, because it exists in a wider context. Jesus exists in a wider context. That's how it came to be. That's how it was formed. He exists in a wider context. I mean, the majority of the Bible comes from ancient Egypt and ancient Mesopotamian culture, myths, concepts. It's not there's nothing in the Bible unique. Of course, it's mostly a continuation of stories. Those stories over time. And it's going to change. It's not going to be exact. I mean, it's not going to be 100%. That's not the way it goes. But and they're going to interweave their own opinions and their own philosophies and the way they view the world, and they're within their time period, their zeitgeist, and they're going to be influenced by the cultures around them, the authors of the Bible. That's who I'm talking about. Back then, they were all people just figuring out their own life, trying to figure things out. And that's nothing new. Everybody, everyone does that. And if you're not doing it, in my opinion, you don't grow, you don't evolve. And again, like I said, other people are not going to like the way that you evolve or who you evolve into. That's their problem. That's their problem, not yours. You have to be strong enough and confident enough in yourself, in who you are, where you're going, what your purpose is, and live it. Do it. You know what I mean? You can't live your life for other people and their standards and expectations and beliefs. Can't do it. What was I gonna say? I don't know. I'm just rambling, kind of. So that's pretty much it. I'll probably add the Heaven and Hell video. It's very short. It's like maybe like a 5-minute video, and it's not me, it's somebody else. Let me tell you something. If you go to church and the preacher is a theologian and he is not telling you this stuff, that's worse than someone that's a preacher that just doesn't know. So anyway, I wish everyone health, remain safe, blessings. Everybody needs it. And everybody needs it. I'm more or less, I'm not agnostic anymore, and I'm not Christian, but Anyway, I wish everyone health, good health, and be blessed, and take care. Okay, I'm gonna try and get those these videos out to you. All right, bye.
The majority of people in America continue to believe that there's a literal heaven and a literal hell. Those numbers are dropping, but it's still a majority belief, and most people assume that this is taught in the Bible. As it turns out, this understanding that you die and your soul goes to one place or another is not taught anywhere in the Old Testament, and it's not what the historical Jesus taught. Most people don't realize that when Jesus talks about an afterlife, it's not about your soul going one place to another. Jesus, like other Jews at the time, believed at the end of history as we know it, God was going to intervene in this world and destroy all of the forces of evil and bring in a good kingdom. And people who were alive would either enter into that kingdom for a utopian existence forever or would be destroyed. And people who were dead would be raised from the dead bodily to live in this kingdom or be destroyed. And so Jesus didn't believe that the soul went one place or the other. Jesus believed eternal life was lived in the body here on earth. Most people assume that Jesus and his disciples and the earliest Christians believed that a person who was disobedient to God or was immoral or who didn't have faith would be punished eternally in the fires of hell. As it turns out, Jesus didn't think that. Jesus thought that if a person was disobedient to God, at the end they would be completely destroyed, taken out of existence. There would be no conscious afterlife for these people. They would simply be done away with. And so Jesus did not believe in hell as a place of eternal torment. It seems odd to many people today, but the idea of a literal heaven and hell doesn't come from Jewish or Christian sources originally. It actually comes from Greek sources. It's first articulated most clearly actually in the writings of Plato. And the idea then that the soul goes one place or the other is part of Greek philosophy that eventually crept into Christian faith. But it wasn't originally part of the Christian faith, and it doesn't arise out of Judaism. Two of the most influential thinkers in the history of our civilization are Socrates and Jesus. And it's interesting that both of them had views of the afterlife that were hopeful. Socrates taught that there are two options when you die. Either you enter into something like a deep sleep with no dreams, which is great. Everybody loves a good night's sleep, and this is like an eternal good night's sleep. Or you have a conscious afterlife in which you have the ability to talk with your ancestors and converse about deep things and think about interesting topics for eternity. And so it's either really good or it's good. It's good either way. Jesus actually had something very similar. Jesus thought that Some people would enter into a utopian kingdom of God forever, and other people would simply cease to exist. There's no eternal torment in either one, which means that for both of them, there's nothing to be afraid of about the afterlife, but there may be something to hope for. After high school, I decided I wanted to be completely committed to my Christian faith, and I decided for college to go to a fundamentalist Bible college. I majored in Bible and theology and spent 3 years doing almost nothing but study the Bible. Memorizing the Bible and learning everything I could about the Bible, completely absorbed in the Bible because I was committed to the idea that the Bible was the inerrant revelation from God. There were no mistakes of any kind in the Bible. This was God's revelation to the human race. When I finished, I went to the Christian Liberal Arts College to finish my degree, and I took as my foreign language requirement ancient Greek, so that I could read the New Testament in the original Greek language. That began the process for me of realizing that the Bible was not the inerrant revelation from God, because now I was actually reading the original text and realizing that there were problems that had to be solved. I felt like I could solve the problems, but I was seeing the problems much more clearly now. When I finished my college education, I decided I wanted to study Greek manuscripts for a living. I wanted to become a professor teaching Greek and teaching Greek manuscripts. And so I wanted to study at Princeton Theological Seminary. I went there and did a 3-year master's degree there, and then stayed for my PhD, another 4 years. During that time, I learned Hebrew, so I was reading the Old Testament in Hebrew, and I'm reading the Bible in its original languages. And fairly early on, I started finding problems that I simply couldn't resolve anymore. I found discrepancies, and once I admitted there were any discrepancies, I started finding more, and these discrepancies became irreconcilable. There were actual contradictions, and there were geographical mistakes and historical errors, and I realized my entire view that the Bible is an inerrant revelation is simply wrong, that the Bible is a very human book. The Jewish scriptures, the Hebrew Bible, consists of 22 books. These books were all written at different times, in different places, by different authors. There are centuries between the first book and the last book. Virtually all of these books are written by people who didn't know each other, didn't know about each other's writings, and they have widely disparate views on just about everything. So that if you're reading the book of Genesis, you'll get a very different perspective on things, even on who God is and what God is doing, from if you read the book of Psalms. And this collection of books, of course, is a collection that humans made. The Bible didn't drop from the sky one day. These are simply the books that had been in circulation among Jews, and these emerged as the books that eventually Jews said, these are the books that we find sacred. That started my process of deconversion. I didn't stop being Christian for many, many years. I simply moved away from being a committed evangelical Christian to being a fairly mainline liberal Christian. It was only about 15 years after I stopped being an evangelical that I stopped being a Christian.